USL continues on this Saturday night. It's a home Rio Grande Valley FC appearance. They play host to LA Galaxy 2 in a battle of two teams that are very much in striking distance of the playoff top 10. Alongside Bruce Silverman, I'm Ken Levicka, and we welcome you tonight between this RGVFC matchup with LA Galaxy 2. And Bruce, last time out, April 24th, a 4-4 epic in Carson, California between these two clubs.
You got to like when there's a lot of goals being scored. That's the kind of football that you want. But tonight for Los Dos, they only have 3 goals in the starting 11. That's less than they scored the last time these two teams met.
Rio Grande Valley FC coming off a 3-1 defeat at Phoenix Rising. And tonight they will try to get back to winning ways after having a 5-game unbeaten streak come to an end. And here is RGV's starting 11, Michael Salazar at that left forward spot. He had a hat trick the last time out against LA Galaxy 2.
Hey, anytime you can score that many goals in a single game, you know there's a lot of firepower. You've got a lot of experience on this side for RGV. That settles them well. Coach Echeverry knows the type of talent that he has. He's going to want to exploit LA as much as humanly possible.
And then LA Galaxy 2, they were unbeaten 5 straight at home before falling just the other night to Fresno, a 3-0 convincing defeat. But LA Galaxy 2 right now, they sit in that 10th and final playoff spot in the West.
They do. Los Dos in 10th right now, RGV in 14th. For me, the big thing for LA is they only have 3 goals on the pitch, and that is a difficult place to be. Going up against a team like RGV, you want to score goals, they're going to have to manufacture them.
If you take a glance at the starting 11 for LA Galaxy 2, there is one notable absence, and that's Ty Koreniuk. He leads the squad in goals with 4. He is not in the starting 11 tonight. This is a young squad, but a lot of firepower with LA Galaxy 2.
Well, they do. They absolutely do. And Augustine Williams up top, that's where most of the attention is going to be for RGV. They're going to have to shut them down. And in shutting them down, it is going to make LA get more creative behind him. If they can't do it, the home team should have a very good night.
Well, only 2 points on the table separate these two teams. Should be a great one tonight. It is RGV, it is LA Galaxy 2, and it's the USL on ESPN+. Kickoff coming up next.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Hola Bruce, bienvenido a Taquería Manu. ¿Taquería Manu? Mi nueva pasión ahora que estoy retirado. Desde que probé las carnes marinadas, mi tienda para tacos son fáciles y rapidísimos de hacer. A ver, dale, mira esto. Elige el sabor que quieras. ¡Híjole! ¡Qué rico! Provecho, Bruce. Gracias, hermano.
Carnes Marinadas, mi tienda de H-E-B, celebrando nuestra cultura, costumbres y pasión.
We are back in Edinburgh, Texas. It is RGV, the Toros, taking on LA Galaxy 2. RGV comes into this one 3 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses on the season, 12 points in the USL West table, 14th in the Western Conference, but only 2 points back of 10th place LA Galaxy 2. They are 4 wins, 2 draws, and 4 losses on the season. And Bruce Silverman, you have 2 teams that have 5-game streaks that came to an end last time out. For RGV, 5 games unbeaten. They get dropped 3-1 by Phoenix Rising. LA Galaxy 2, 5 straight home games unbeaten before they went down to Fresno 3-0. So how do you bounce back from something like that if you're the respective teams?
You know, I spoke to Coach Echeverry the other day, and I said, you know, in your role, you're part manager, part psychologist. And right now, I think the psychology of this game is really what's going to come in play for Echeverry and for Munoz. I mean, both of these guys, when you're on a streak and you're playing well, you know, you don't want to mess with the streak. Okay, I'm talking Bull Durham now. You don't mess with the streak. But in this situation, you got to go and get your teams back into that winning form, into the form where you can go out and get points when you go out. For RGV, it's about getting points at home. For LA, it's about getting points on the road. What's more difficult? Well, usually it's getting points on the road. So for these 2 teams, they need to settle down. For me, possession-oriented football early on, being able to be the one that dictates the pace, that gives you the advantage early on because you want to have the ball, put the defense on their heels. If you get stymied and they're bringing it back down and trying to drive it down your throat, it starts to play mind games. This game may be as much of a mind game as it is a physical game.
There's a look at our referee, Alejandro Aguilera, and we are underway here in Edinburgh, Texas. 2 teams that are very much in the playoff hunt in the West Division of the USL, RGV and LA Galaxy 2. RGV has been solid at home this season. They are 2-1-1. Last time they were at home, 4 matches ago, they thumped Eric Winalda and Las Vegas 5-2. Winalda and company are making a nice run now into the 4th round of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. But being back home for the first time in a month has got to be a great feeling for Gerson Echeverry and company.
You know, I love what's happening in Las Vegas and what Eric is doing, and what a great addition to USL Championship to have Eric Winalda there, and in a city that is very thirsty for football.
Here's a lob inside the box, and unable to get on the end of it was Augustine Williams for LA Galaxy, and it goes for a goal kick. And this is the first time we see Nico Corti, the young keeper for RGV, a native of Belgium. 20 starts last year, was a 3-time national champion at Stanford, and his senior season when he did start, he helped lead the Cardinal to the national title.
Yeah, Corti, beauty and brains out of Stanford. But going back to who the intended target was just a moment ago, and Williams, he's the man with 2 goals, really the only guy on the offensive side of things for LA with goals, and he has 2 goals. That's going to make it difficult because RGV knows he's the target man. So you can mark him, and if you neutralize him, you're forcing everyone else in a white kit to stand up and make plays.
Isidro Martinez was fouled from behind. That our first foul of this match here tonight. This was a wide open affair on April 24th. It was 1-0 Los Dos at halftime, and then 7 goals later, it ended in a 4-4 draw, including Kai Koreniuk 96th minute goal to level things and put it at 4-4. Koreniuk not in the starting 11 tonight, as Bruce discussed in the open. Koreniuk leads the team in goals with 4 for LA Galaxy 2. He is available off the bench tonight, however, for Mike Munoz.
And Munoz only going with 5 on the bench, so it's a short bench. You get 3 substitutions, so he's going to have to be very almost precision-like in terms of the way that he makes changes as the game progresses. You hope that you never have to do it injury-wise and it's more tactical, but with a short bench, it's going to make things interesting for LA as the game goes on. Because don't forget, we're playing in Rio Grande Valley. It's a little warm.
Yeah, a kickoff temperature tonight of 85 degrees, heavy humidity. This time of year, that's always the case near the U.S.-Mexico border. We are just miles away from that here in Edinburgh at HEB Park. This is the now third season of its existence. It opened in March of 2017.
And I love this building. I love how open it is, the fans right on top of the action. This is one of the better soccer-specific stadiums, not just in USL, but throughout the United States.
I completely agree with you. I was going to say the same thing, especially from a USL level. This is one of the finer facilities in the entire league. This is pushed forward and on the run. Able to get to it is Malik Foster, the Jamaican national. His cross is loose in the box, and it's going to be controlled by Los Dos, but an early opportunity for RGV, and it was created by Foster using that lightning-quick speed.
Martinez just unable to pull the trigger on that shot fast enough. The reason why the defender was able to get there and shut it down.
Ethan Zubak, nice move to the inside, got to the area. He's along the end line, and it's punched out of play, and this will be our first corner of the evening. Zubak working hard before RGV's Hernandez came over, but it will be a corner for Los Dos.
And for Galaxy, what they need to do is take advantage of set-piece opportunities, and you see this is the way that it came about.
See that cut to the inside. That was well done by Zubak, and then he was met by the defender. Here's the corner, comes to the top of the 6-yard box. That'll be headed away, but LA Galaxy 2 able to keep it in. It's sprayed to the outside. Here's Olaski. His cross is wayward, and this will trickle to the far touchline. And now RGV will go to work out of the back.
That was great service on the corner. I mean, that's everything that you want. It was well defended, but the ball put perfectly into the 6. A man with a white kick gets his head on it. It's a 1-0 game.
We've seen fairly wide open action here in the first 5 minutes or so from HEB Park. RGV in the orange shirts with the white shorts, orange socks, and LA Galaxy 2 in their familiar white shirts and white pants. This will be played back to Corti. And you mentioned it, Bruce, and it's a great point you bring up, that LA Galaxy 2 on the night, only 4 goals on the pitch for the season. And it's certainly not necessarily something, as we have a foul here and an RGV free kick on the way, that is isolated to just LA Galaxy 2. But because of the scenario they're in, and you're constantly shuttling players back and forth, this is not going to be the first time in your season you see low goal numbers in the starting 11.
Well, and the other thing that is working in the favor of Mike Munoz and his squad is you have a member of LA Galaxy as your keeper tonight.
Sure.
So when you don't have as many goals in front, at least you have a backstop that knows, hey, I've got a lot of experience and I am in a position to shut my opponent down.
You have LA Galaxy in the back with Von Steeg at goal, and you have LA Galaxy up front in Zubak up top at forward. So 2 LA Galaxy members are in the lineup tonight for LA Galaxy 2. This will be pushed to the right side. Perhaps an opportunity for LA Galaxy. On the move, getting to the top of the 18, played through. RGV calling for offside. The flag stayed down, but RGV able to clear it, and it'll roll out of play.
LA just needs to be a little bit more patient and find those passing lanes, so when they get into the final third, they have opportunities to challenge Corti. Right now, I think they're pressing just a little bit, probably not holding on to the ball long enough to be able to give players to find space away from the ball. That's really where games are won and lost, is not so much who's on the ball, but what kind of creation is happening away from the ball.
Corti twice now has had the ball played back to him, and awkward-looking launch away with that right foot. He's popping it straight up in the air, and now a giveaway in the midfield. Here's RGV, sending it to the outside down the left flank. Stopping, starting, nice footwork to the end line, and this is popped up in the air, and it's going to be controlled by Von Steeg. Nice job defensively for LA Galaxy 2. That was Nate Schultz staying with it and able to keep it in play and right to his keeper.
Schultz doing a good job of bringing the play towards the goal line, forcing the cross to go high into the air. what RGV needs to do in that situation is actually to dribble away from the line, come back either towards the corner or back into the pitch to help recycle things rather than to force it. If you're standing and trying to cross when there's a man in a white kit right in front of you and the actual next defender is the goal line, you need to be more patient.
LA Galaxy 2 into this one. 10th in the West. They knew expanded playoffs this year in the USL where the top 10 teams will go to the postseason and then play-ins to determine who moves on to the quarterfinals. These two teams not eligible to play in the U.S. Open Cup. We do see a number of USL teams getting back to action tonight after either U.S. Open Cup triumphs or failures. How tough is it, Bruce? And you've been around professional soccer and especially the USL for an awful long time. How tough is it to get back from cup play and get back into league action?
It is difficult because managers have to manage minutes. They have to manage expectations. You're playing more games. You're playing games that are part of the cup. You're playing games that are part of the regular season. How do you balance wanting to advance in the cup versus advancing in USL Championship?
Right.
So you've got to expand your roster, and not in terms of adding players, but in terms of getting more players involved. You know, players that maybe don't make the 18 week in and week out are not only making the 18, but they're starting. And then how do you manage those minutes? Because you've got that Wednesday game in the Cup, and then you've got a Saturday or a Sunday game coming up. Hey, and congratulations to Daryl Shore and Peter Wilt and everybody going full Mingo with Forward Madison being the last remaining team in League One.
Right-footed shot. It dribbles up awkwardly on Corti, but he's able to pluck it off of his knee. And that chance for LA Galaxy 2 goes for naught.
But going right back to the conversation about U.S. Open Cup, and go to the replay first.
And you see maneuvering inside. It was Zubak, but really no threat on that shot despite the fumble.
Corti needs to be careful. There's no reason for that ball to ride up his body and then actually end up behind him. He was lucky that there was no one in a white kit that had run on, because if not, that would have been a very, very easy goal.
Well, today you saw Chris Wondolowski setting the all-time MLS goal-scoring mark on a play just like that from a Chicago keeper who fumbled it, and Wondolowski was right there to punch it in with the right foot. You've got to be careful.
Well, you had talked a few moments ago about some of those soft passes back to Corti. Those Ole passes are the types of thing that break games wide open. You don't want to give a team like LA an opportunity to get a very easy goal.
Giveaway by LA Galaxy, and no pressure from RGV, however, and LA Galaxy 2 retains possession.
So going back to the conversation about U.S. Open Cup, one of my favorite times of year, especially the early rounds when you have these amateur teams. You have the League One teams and now USL Championship getting involved before we get to the MLS teams. And you get to see these great stories like Florida Soccer Soldiers.
Unbelievable. I mean, what a win over Charlotte the other night.
And a big win against Miami FC. And I was actually at that game. And that was an atmosphere. And as that game was wearing on, I kind of saw the way it was going to finish, and that's exactly the way it ended up. But U.S. Open Cup, I'm so glad all the games now are on ESPN+, because it's a tournament that needed more exposure. More people needed to find out about it.
It's a total game changer.
It really is. I mean, you've got teams from lower levels that in the last 10, 15 years have been very successful and have won the U.S. Open Cup, have shocked MLS teams. And that's what you want to see, is those David and Goliath type matchups.
Chris Duval tries to push it forward. Wanted Foster, but that wayward pass will go across the touchline and lead to an LA Galaxy 2 throw-in. 12th minute. Not a ton of cohesiveness right now between the two teams. Case in point, what you just saw, as LA Galaxy gave it away in the RGV attacking third.
Both of these teams right now seem to be a little off, a little helter-skelter, feeling each other out. The opportunities have been better for RGV, and you see this build up now. but really no challenge on either side for either of these keepers.
Here comes a delivery in the area, and that is going to go for a goal kick, but it's going to go for a throw, actually. But RGV doing what you had said last time they had an attacking third possession, send it to the outside, create some shape, and move on from there.
You know, you take a look at Echeverry, had a conversation with him the other day, and we were talking about shots not put on frame. And you see it so often where teams will go out and shoot 10, 15, 20 plus shots in a game, and 3 of them are on frame. And I said, Coach, you know, does it drive you crazy? Because those are wasted opportunities. And he said, yes, the mindset has to be put it within the frame.
Well, case in point, RGV in the 3-1 loss to Phoenix Rising, 18 shots, 5 on goal. Those 18 shots were 10 more than Phoenix Rising, who won the match 3-1.
I have been lobbying for years that rebounds should be a statistic kept in soccer. Because how often have you seen guys take shots from distance, put it out of play? You know,
right,
20 yards above the crossbar, 10 yards wide. But how many times have you seen shots in the box get punched away by the goalkeeper and then end up being a goal?
Nick Depew for LA Galaxy 2 battling right now with Foster. Now this is pushed to the right side, Duval. Duval sends it to the far post. That'll be headed out just shy of staying in the area. Now a right-footed attempt. That was blocked by, or from Enriquez, but RGV is going to maintain the possession.
You're right there in the mouth of the 18. There are orange kits all around you, and you fire it into the legs of a defender.
What set up that initial attack there at the edge of the area was a great defensive play from Depew. If he does not get a right foot on that playthrough, Foster runs in on that goal. Here's a shot from distance that was easily disposed of by Corti, but it will be a corner kick.
But that's a prime example of what I'm talking about in terms of rebounds. This ball clearly was going to be out of play, but Corti has to play it, because if it just happens to hit that crossbar, it's in play for a rebound opportunity.
Make him honest, Chiloa was the one who decided to turn and give it a go, and that was a wise decision. And the second LA Galaxy 2 corner comes, and there's Mike Munoz looking on from the touchline. Be a left-footed in-swinger on the way for Los Dos. Here comes the corner. This is well done to the back post, and Corti could not make the save. It trickled through him for a goal. It's Omar Ontiveros, who was lined up on the back post. Corti looked like initially he made the save. He could not keep it from crossing the goal line, however, and Los Dos in the 16th minute. LA Galaxy 2-1, RGV nothing.
Omar just waiting on it, served up perfectly by Olaski. And you get to look at it here. Oh, I thought we were going to go to it. The ball was just set perfectly high in the air, looped down, and Ontiveros not even marked. No one in an orange kit anywhere around him. You get to take a look at this now. Very high in the air and swinging that way. Ontiveros able to put a body on it, and Corti just seemed like he was completely baffled by the play.
He was flat-footed. He was also 2 feet inside the goal line. So Corti, yes, he made contact with it. It was already a goal by the time it hit him.
Yeah, that's a really great point. You cannot be a keeper. And it's one thing you want to be off your line, be in front of the line. If you're going to stand in the
Tuck
goal
into the post,
and think that you're going to make a save inside, if you catch the ball inside, I got news for you, it goes down as a goal.
It has very much been RGV on the front foot for the most part in the opening 15 minutes, but LA Galaxy 2 on the board with a fantastic corner to the back post that Ontiveros is able to put away, and he got a lot of velocity on it.
We talked about in the open how this would be as much of a mental game as physical game, since both of these teams dropped their last time out. This is not the start that Echeverry wanted. LA comes in, and within the first 20 minutes, they get that go-ahead goal and on a set piece, and they have looked brilliant on set pieces.
They have.
Talked about it. The last corner that they had was on the near side. Very well-served ball, but defended well. This one put in a place where the only person that could play it was Omar Ontiveros, and it's a 1-0 game after 16.
An RGV foul and LA Galaxy 2 with the free kick. Bruce Silverman and Ken Levicka here with you from the south of Texas. It is 1-0 LA Galaxy 2 on top of Rio Grande Valley, a battle of USL Western Conference teams. Look at Malik Foster, what a run, and it leads to a foul and a free kick coming from a semi-dangerous area. Nick DePue frustrated, but Foster created that entire thing, and Foster's going to stay down now, and he is clutching at his right ankle. Foster on loan from Alajuelense in Costa Rica in their premier division, and Foster will see if he needs some medical attention. And there's a yellow shown, and this is going to be given to John Requejo. So there's our first booking of the evening, and it is to the young right back for LA Galaxy 2.
That coming in the 18th minute, and that's going to change the complexity of the game a little bit for LA, because John's not going to be able to be aggressive from that left fullback position. He's not going to be able to defend as aggressively. He's also not going to be able to run up on the ball and try to pressure things offensively on that left side. This ball is probably a little too far out to go right for it. Look for the activity to be that in-swinger that goes right outside of the 18.
This will be Martinez to deliver the set piece. This is a good ball, dangerous ball, and it's headed just wide of the goal. And this will go for a corner. They're going to say it went off of an LA Galaxy 2 defender, and Vom Steeg certainly had to pay attention to that. And we'll take a look at this replay here before Martinez handles the corner duties. This was well struck, a very dangerous ball, and I do think that RGV may have gotten a bit of a break here with the corner.
We'll see what they can do with this opportunity here in the 20th minute. Martinez will take this one.
With the right foot to the 6-yard box. There was contact in the box. Bodies hit the deck. No whistle. RGV keeps it in. Nice turn. And it's poked in from the 6-yard box up and over the bar. It'll be a goal kick. Salazar was there. He was a bit off balance. The feed, it was done well to find Salazar's right foot. Just could not find enough momentum to push it forward instead of up high into the air.
Yeah, unfortunately for Michael Salazar, the issue there was he was falling backwards, and that right foot just punted it high in the air. There was no way that he was going to be able to put it on frame.
The battle over on that far side, won by RGV. And that looked like it was initially going to be a dangerous slide tackle. Turned into play on at midfield. And LA Galaxy 2 will now slow it down. RGV in franchise history has never beaten LA Galaxy 2. There have been a couple of draws in this series, but never outright beaten them. And yes, there's a lot of turnover from season to season. These are two young franchises, 4 and 5 years old respectively. Does that play mind games with the team on the wrong end of that number, though?
Well, it always does, because these are two teams where you had talked about it earlier. Players will come and go throughout the season. And that's difficult, because the game of soccer for me is about repetition. It's about knowing what the tendencies are of your teammates. Do they like the ball at their feet? Do they like it on the run? Do they like to receive a pass with the right foot versus the left? Do they want you to pass the ball to the outside, to the inside? And if you aren't as familiar with your teammates, then that's difficult as games progress, because it's one thing to say, hey, get it to my left foot. It's another to have played a couple of games with someone that way and to know the tendencies. Because if nothing else, I know the guy wants the ball on his left foot, but I don't know how fast he is. So all of those things come together, and as seasons go on, and as the season goes on, and you become more familiar with your teammates, that's when teams tend to play better football.
There's a left-footed cross that's deflected high into the air, and it'll be headed back into the RVG box, and they'll attempt to play from the back. It is 1-0 LA Galaxy 2, courtesy of an Omar Ontiveros goal off of a corner kick, a set piece goal for LA Galaxy 2.
I like how aggressive LA is right now. They are not giving RGV a lot of space to move the ball. They're putting pressure on anybody who has the ball, and it's making it very difficult for RGV to even get out of their third.
Mike Munoz, he doesn't look it, but he's got to be pleased with this start for his squad. It's 1-0 advantage.
Well, what's interesting is I'm drawing back to something that you had talked about a little bit earlier, Ken, which was the last time these two teams played, it was 1-0 at the half with LA on top, and then it was a free-for-all in the second half.
That's a great way to put it. That was a hat trick for Michael Salazar of RGV, who got the Toros back into the match and nearly got them a result. Looked like they were going to win it up until the heroics in the 96th minute for Los Dos. That's a tough one to swallow, but RGV and LA Galaxy 2 to this point appear to be improved from a year ago, where they really struggled and finished near the bottom of the West Division table. This is a much better start for these squads.
Well, for RGV, they're sitting on the table 14th with 12 points. LA Galaxy 2, 10th, just above the Mendoza line with 14 points. But RGV with a win tonight leapfrogs
Absolutely.
LA. And that's what's really great about this USL Championship season is these teams. There's a lot of teams that are really bunched up. I mean, let's face it. Portland Timbers 2 right now, 18 points, top of the table in the West. If Rio Grande was to win tonight, they would only be 3 points behind.
This is all packed in, and you have a number of teams and 14 points in the table, 16 points in the table. I mean, it is very competitive and shaping up to be fun. And I do like the expanded postseason, having the 10 teams now from each conference going into the playoffs.
Kind of reminds me of a number of years ago when the National Hockey League expanded their playoffs, and it really changed the dynamics of the Stanley Cup. I mean, now it's hard to argue with the fact that the Stanley Cup is not the best playoff system in North American sports.
And from an excitement level, the product that it puts forth, that is, there's no studies that can be done to prove that, but it passes the eye test every single year. Some pressure in the back here as RGV looks to put some pressure on Justin Von Steeg's goal. It's been a while since the free kick that we saw about 4 game minutes ago. And we have a throw-in coming now for LA Galaxy 2.
RGV just needs to settle down the play. They've got to have it at their feet. Work station to station, take the air out of the game a little bit, find the passing lanes, and then go right at it. Echeverry wants them to be aggressive offensively and defensively. They got snake bitten a little bit on that corner. It was just that well executed by Los Dos. But now RGV, they need to create opportunities. And right now with LA playing so aggressively on defense and pressing forward and cutting down those opportunities, you're seeing RGV having to go backwards to rebuild their offense.
RGV is going to work it now back to the midfield. Gerson Echeverry is the first head coach in RGV history. This is played forward well to Foster, but coming out is Vom Steeg, and very much with a lot of conviction. Knew what he wanted to do and disposed of that, and that is a reason why LA Galaxy, the MLS club, is so high on him.
And that was a great play by RGV. Foster getting the ball ahead. That ball just hit the ground and skipped. If the ball had been a little bit higher, fallen a little bit softer, it would have been a fun battle between Foster and Vom Steeg.
Back to the point on Echeverry, he is the only head coach RGV has ever had to be the head coach for consecutive seasons. It's been one and done for the first 4 years of the franchise. He spent 5 years as the head man at Seton Hall, did Echeverry, and then decided to leave his post and pursue other opportunities, which happened to be this Rio Grande Valley job. And this is an attractive job. It's in temperature-wise and livelihood-wise, an attractive area of the country. You have a good relationship with Houston Dynamo of MLS, and he is in charge of trying to put together a competitive team and a team that can get into the postseason as one of these hybrid relationship teams with the MLS club.
And I think he really enjoys coaching at this level. Had success in New Jersey and then here, and I think he really likes to teach up his players and create better players. And certainly that's something that Houston wants him to do.
Yes. Here comes a throw-in from the attacking third. RGV looking to work this into the area and finally put Vom Steeg to work a bit. He hasn't had to make a save yet here as we are in the 28th minute. And as you said, Bruce, LA Galaxy 2 once again forcing RGV to go backwards to try and set up the attack now.
You just see every time they try to bring the ball forward. Look, there's no space.
A lot of pressure.
You're right on top of the ball handler, and you can't even find a passing lane. Passing lanes aren't there. You can't even move the ball to find a passing lane.
Which is why you're seeing RGV resorting to long balls. Now here's a giveaway, but a poor touch after the giveaway, and coming over to save the day was Corti.
Kyle Adams' ball at his feet, and he can't corral it in, and it almost turned into a one-on-one situation with Corti. Corti probably getting a little lucky that ball took such a hard hop.
Foster trying to work around. Good defensive play. It will be an RGV throw-in. And you see very animated Gerson Echeverry on the touchline yelling directions to his back four. He did not like the ball that was played forward to Foster. Foster's been the main target of the long balls that RGV's had to resort to try and push the ball forward. Because as Bruce said, the passing lanes just have not been there. They are working real hard to try and push an attack forward, now trailing 1-0.
Salazar needs to get more involved on the offense as well. He's been very, very quiet in this game, and you're talking about a guy who had a hat trick. That's where you want the ball to go. You got to mix things up and keep the defense honest.
Martinez played it through, but it could not find the right touch for Cabrera, who was behind the defense and onside. Cabrera just couldn't get the proper touch on it, and it trickled under his left foot.
Yeah, Cabrera's going to lose some sleep over that one, because had he been able to corral it in and control it, it would have been a really fun battle between him and Von Steeg to see if RGV couldn't tie this game up.
Yeah, you mentioned Salazar. Salazar's a big part of this RGV attack. That's the plan. Salazar, a former MLS man, 5 goals in his time at Montreal Impact in the 3 seasons he spent there. Here's another long ball. Foster on the run, and Vom Steeg hangs in there and catches it on the hop with Foster right in his chest, and LA Galaxy 2 is off to the races. Foster is a pest for RGV, but nothing has been able to find his foot yet with those long balls. Vom Steeg has been there to hold it up every time. Here's an entry into the area. That was dangerous for a moment, but this will roll across the end line, and Corti will launch it away.
What I really like about Justin Vom Steeg is how well he is positioned. He's playing very cool, very calm, but he's able to really step up and be in the right place, and you're going to see it as the ball moves forward. Well,
yeah,
it wasn't on that one, but that was the ball that was just out past the extended feet of Cabrera. But Von Steeg basically hasn't really been challenged yet, but when he's been called into duty, he's in the right place at the right time.
The one play as RGV gives it away. No, we are actually going to say the referee, Alejandro Aguilera, said it was a deflection, and this will instead be an RGV throw-in. The one play that Vom Steeg had to come out and make that was fairly difficult was coming off his line to put his right foot into a well-played ball that Foster was pursuing. And that's the extent of really the difficulty. Here's a backheel pass that's denied by LA Galaxy 2. Foster trying to get fancy, and Los Dos able to break it up. A high line here for RGV, and LA Galaxy 2 will let some numbers come forward to reset up the attack. 32nd minute here in Edinburgh, Texas, just miles from the U.S.-Mexico border. A battle between two teams that had perhaps one of the most entertaining USL matchups of the season on April 24th, 4-4 in Carson, California. RGV has never beaten LA Galaxy 2.
RGV really needs to play a little bit higher on defense and almost return the favor of the way that LA is playing defense right now. You see them forcing the play back, and that's fine, but they need to play a little bit more aggressive on defense to be able to get some turnovers and get some of those quick counters.
Foster sends it ahead. It's chested down. Good control there. Cabrera pushes it to the outside, but he put too much on it. Nicely done, though, by Enriquez to catch up to it. Now he'll deliver it to the edge of the 6-yard box. That's headed out. LA Galaxy 2, that back four staying strong. RGV continues to pressure. This is more like it for RGV. Now they'll slow it down, try and repackage the attack. Here they come once again.
But when you get into the final third, you can't push the ball into the corner with that kind of pace, because that's almost like a reset.
Right.
And they had so much going for them until that ball ended up in the corner.
Well, maybe here's something. It's a low cross, and that'll be sent away for an RGV throw-in. But Enriquez, good vision. He was looking for Salazar, who was camped out on that near post, and a quick throw-in for RGV. On the right foot, delivered to Foster, and he puts it away. That was an absolute dime. Foster making the run, pushes it in off his knee, and we are level.
And we got a good dance as well. That was a brilliant center. Foster's been the target man throughout the evening, as we've talked about. And finally, he's able to make a run onto the ball and beat Justin Vom Steeg. That's the way that Echeverry likes to draw it up. He wants to see that aggressiveness, and that was well played. We get to see the replay here. Right foot, very well served. And the big thing about Foster is he gets ahead of the defender to make sure that he's not ridden away from the ball. And then we get the Danny Terrio.
You gotta love it. What body control from Foster.
On the dance or on the goal?
Both, actually. He showed it up in a multitude of ways there. Foster, that ball came on him pretty fast, and he was able to alter his body. He got his chest and his knee on it, and it beat Vom Steeg, who didn't stand a chance. There was nothing Vom Steeg could have done there.
And I think that really happens by the high-pressing defense that RGV, and we talked about it a few minutes ago, and I said they need to return the favor because LA has been playing a little bit higher, as you're seeing right there, and RGV was just giving LA too much space to bring the ball up. Once they started pressuring the ball, they shortened up the pitch, and then they were able to string together a couple of good possessions, and eventually, you know, when you do that, good things are going to happen. They do. Foster with the goal, and now even at one apiece. It's a brand new game. Now we're really into that psychological chess match, because both of these teams, they're not going to be happy with a draw coming off of a loss.
They're not playing for one, exactly.
No, absolutely. And we talked about it. RGV, the Toros, they want to jump ahead of LA. They want to put themselves back above the Mendoza line and back in the playoff picture.
Malik Foster with the goal. That's his third of the season. He is a Jamaican national. 3 caps for Reggae Boys. He scored in his international debut against South Korea and has spent a good amount of time now here at RGV. He is likely going to be away, however, for the upcoming Gold Cup. We'll take another glance here at the goal from Malik Foster. It was a sensational delivery. And you had mentioned just moments before, Bruce, you've got to be more precise in the attacking third. Hernandez, great ball. Foster coming from the far post to the near post, and point blank puts it away.
Yeah, and for Foster, it was getting around and getting in front of Rikuo. And once he was able to do that, that was the thing. But brilliantly served in right foot by Hernandez.
Mike Munoz, hands on hips in front of the LA touchline. He has had the same pose for pretty much the entire evening.
Without going into all the different scenarios in the action this weekend, a win by RGV tonight would propel them from 12 points to 15 points. Now, again, without going into what happens with Tulsa, Las Vegas, Austin, OKC, Sacramento, that could put RGV from 14th to 5th.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff that you just love early in a season like this. And the psychology, they keep going back to that word, but that's really what it comes down to. What that would do to a team like RGV. Now, again, there's a lot of scenarios that have to fall into place to go from 14th to 5th as we set up this set piece. And LA has been great on set pieces tonight. But, man, to go from 14th to 5th, changes your season.
It completely does. These teams finished 1 point away from one another in last year's table in the Western Conference. RGV 38 points, LA Galaxy 37 points, both well out of the playoff picture. And we are 10 matches in, and both these squads are getting halfway to their total table point totals from a year ago.
And that is something that Echeverry and Munoz have to be very proud about.
Here comes a left-footed in-swinger. Oh, he tried to challenge Corti. Corti gave up a rebound, and LA Galaxy 2 will reset the attack. That turned into a very dangerous opportunity. Here's another floated ball in. That one is not going to do any damage, but that was ambitious and nearly damaging from LA Galaxy 2.
And
what an attempt here from Ilaski.
Ilaski probably surprising just about everybody in the building, certainly the majority of the people on the pitch, by going right at Corti. And then Corti once again not coming up with a clean save and keeping the play alive. As a goalkeeper, you've got to pounce on the ball and you have to stop it. You know, going back to what I've said before, rebounds are such a part of this game. They create some of the most opportunities and the most exciting opportunities in the game. And that's why you just got to shut down those opportunities. And that's why in my conversation with Echeverry, it was like, Coach, what do you think, going on frame or not going on frame? And he was like, every time, got to go on frame.
Got to go, yeah.
You can't score if it's not on frame.
And we have a bit of a tie-up here in the midfield. And some good sportsmanship here between Zubak. And it looks like that is Connor Donovan.
So the captain gets tangled up.
And it is Donovan, yep. And he actually looks like his cleat stuck in the turf for a moment. And no card, and rightfully so. Here's a giveaway, and here's an opportunity. Here's Cabrera. Can he beat Vom Steeg? Von Steeg came out and got a touch on it, and it's going to go for an RGV throw. And Vom Steeg, once again, he was very, very full of conviction and saved a goal.
Well, we talked about how much I like his positioning. That was a full body save.
And he had to. He absolutely had to do that, or it's 2-1.
And he's well out of his office.
Here is Duval. Now Foster. Foster. He will lob it to the left, and he finds his mark. 41st minute, RGV threatening again as they work it around the area. Doing well to turn him off the ball was Nate Schultz. Now this is played forward. Here's Foster. Turns on his right foot. Triple team. Still finds a way through. Now he's shielded off the ball. And we're going to have a foul against Foster. Nick Depew, very, very strong on that back line for Los Dos.
Yeah, it was a good battle towards the goal line here. But it all starts because of a heavy touch right there.
And you look at Cabrera. Cabrera, you're right, just could not catch up to his first touch, but another strong ball from Isidro Martinez. That's the second time tonight that he's played Cabrera through, and neither time Cabrera could get a good touch on it to give himself a goal-scoring opportunity.
RGV, after scoring that goal, really playing strong football. They have not taken their foot off the gas, and that's a little bit of a difference as we see Salazar a little bit slow to get up. After LA's goal, they seem to settle down and almost play the kind of football that you do when you're up a goal on the road. And RGV, they didn't take their foot off the gas. They put it down, and they've been coming at LA. And LA's been playing, with the exception of that set piece a moment ago that Corti mishandled. LA has kind of been content with that one goal.
Well, now we're going to have a foot race. Can Salazar get there? The answer is no. That's cut off by Hilliardse. And LA Galaxy 2 comes forward. Tomas Hilliardse, 8 games played, 8 games started. He has been a typical fixture in the back line for LA Galaxy 2.
He did a great job of just positioning his body and making sure that RGV really wasn't going to have any kind of attack on that exchange.
Here's a step over from Ilaski, and RGV wins it right back. They're going to look to push again, but LA Galaxy 2 with that swarming defense that they have executed well throughout the majority of tonight, for the exception of the goal that they allowed just a few minutes ago. There's been some good pace to this game. It took time for these two teams to feel one another out, but for the last 15 minutes or so, there's been very good pace to this one.
Yeah, we said about the 13, 14-minute mark that neither team really seemed to be sharp. They seem to be a little off, and then that goal.
Martinez springing Foster. Foster is going to survey the defense. Low cross. A foot was put on it by Depew as those two continue to battle. Foster pushes it forward. Now another cross is headed out of the 6-yard box, but RGV relentless as Cabrera is able to reset the attack.
Cristobal with a lot of pace on that cross, and it just was headed away at the last minute.
Duvall, the Houston Dynamo man, making his third appearance for RGV this season. Here's Martinez, and he'll watch as that's pushed out of play by Requejo. And Duvall's going to throw in for RGV. Getting late here in the opening half. It's been entertaining with this 1-1 scoreline. And both of these teams, when they scored, very well deserved. Foster trying to draw a whistle for a free kick, nothing there. But RGV is going to win it back, but then it's given away once again by Cabrera, who's had some very head-scratching touches tonight in some pivotal moments. Speaking of, though, RGV about to throw in again. And that was Nate Schultz, who just decided to bail.
But you see this penetrating defense by RGV, not giving LA a lot of room to maneuver.
Here's Foster. Wanted Cabrera, and a foul against LA Galaxy 2.
Yeah, Vera on that foul, and Cabrera taking a lot of punishment in the early going of this game. He's had a couple of missed touches. He actually almost overran this ball and was lucky that he was not lucky. You're never lucky that you draw a foul, but the foul didn't even need to occur because the ball was already passed.
Right. Vera caught him as Cabrera tried to turn. Cabrera, the Houston Dynamo Academy product. Here comes his set piece. It's low, it's into the area. That looked dangerous for a moment. It'll be pushed out of there. And this will go for an LA Galaxy 2 throw in just 1 minute of stoppage time here at HEB Park.
And that makes it, this has been a very fast-paced game. 2 goals, yes, but quick restarts. No injuries of any kind, not even that many stoppages of play, so you'll take it. For both of these teams going into the dressing room, if you're RGV, Echeverry's just going to say, keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting pressure on, moving the ball, controlling the ball. LA's going to have a conversation on what kind of team they want to be in the second half.
Here's Hernandez, pushes it to the outside. This is Duvall. Duvall to Foster. Foster's cross, a foot is on it. It's a fight for it, it's loose in the box, and it's gonna go out of play. Vom Steeg misplayed it, he hesitated, and nearly gave up an easy Salazar opportunity.
Yeah, one of the rare mistakes by Justin Von Steeg, and Salazar just kind of ran out of real estate as he tried to track that ball down, but he was wise not to play it and make sure that in the closing moments of the half, a corner was coming up.
Vom Steeg fortunate that the ball he played off of Salazar just didn't bounce right into the goal. So this could be the final kick of the half. Martinez on the corner, pushed to the outside of the box. Duvall will send it back to the touchline. Once again, an entry from Martinez, and Vom Steeg dives, catches it into his chest, and that'll do it for the opening half here in Texas. A good one in the opening 45 and change. A goal for Omar Ontiveros in the 16th minute. The equalizer courtesy of Malik Foster, well deserved. And we will start the halftime show after this. It's the USL. We're tied at 1. RGV and Los Dos back after this on ESPN+.
the more we are together, together with nature. The more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
At DHR Health, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're deeply committed to our community and its health. DHR Health, here for you for life.
Shop online at birdogden.com. Pick out your vehicle and click Buy Now. Work your own deal and submit your trade. It's that easy. Shop now at birdogden.com. Daligas.
It's Rio Grande Valley FC 1, LA Galaxy 2-1. Here as USL action continues, we are getting into month number 4 of the 2019 USL season. Second meeting of the season between these two squads. Let's go through first half highlights. How did we get to 1-1? Well, it was a very, very inspired LA Galaxy 2 attack from the onset, Bruce.
No, it did. Early on, LA a little bit more aggressive. RGV was giving them the space to move around. That was kind of a play of things to come.
And here is what was to come. A great corner, and then Omar Ontiveros finishes it off with power on the far post.
The corners have been great for LA throughout the evening. Obviously, Ontiveros getting the goal on that one. But Corti needs to catch the ball and control the ball. You know, the first highlight we showed, he mishandled it. The second one, it goes for a goal.
Here was the first good opportunity for RGV. That's headed wide off of a blistering entry from Isidro Martinez. But now here's the goal from RGV. This was after an extended run of good attacking play.
Play after play after play, you kind of got a sense that RGV was going to break through. Ball is served brilliantly, and Foster just drives it home. 1-1 at the 34-minute mark. And you get the dance for good measure.
I mean, that's what capped it off, to be honest. And Foster, that was a well-deserved goal. He had been extremely dangerous in the opening half, and for a while was the only thing offensively that RGV had going for it. Here was an ambitious attempt. You got to love that from Brian Olaski. He nearly beats Corti to the near post, but Corti was able to deny it. And here's our first half stats.
As the game wore on, you saw that the Toros were possessing the ball and they were really dictating the pace, and that's why that goal came at the 34th minute mark. Foster may be dancing with the stars at the end of the season. The only stat that ever really matters is the top line. 1-1 after 45 plus 1.
Though something you've talked about a lot in the first half, 7 shots for RGV, only 1 on target. Fortunately for them, that 1 went in. More halftime to come here from Texas. 1-1, RGV, LA Galaxy 2.
Look at Taylor moving up.
And Taylor with a beautiful strike. Are you kidding? It's 1-0 in the 12th minute. What can you say about a center back who has... It's loud, and what a rip from Connor Presley. Oh, how's that for an equalizer?
And he decided just to reach his leg out there and see what he could do.
Now North Carolina with a chance. Now a shot by Miller! Stephen Miller with the strike inside the 18 ties this game up at 1 in the 66th minute. Fleming's early ball in. John on the first time! Oh, that is clinical from Adam John! Oh, look at Fleming's and Vaquero just toying with RGV. Breaking in, Kasim! Oh, what a save by Matt Pickens! Got a run from distance, and it's a goal! Pulls with the left and in. And what a save for Van Ogle! Here's a chance for Kasim, who puts it in!
Rodriguez returning for Reynolds. His delivery through the penalty area will fall here, and Tessman! What a strike that is from Tanner Tessman, who's equalized for North Texas.
Sweet footwork. Gallardo, the attack and the blast, and a goal!
Go at it for Toronto, headed on and in. Beautiful strike there.
Shalani serves it towards the back post. Headed in the back of the net. It's a goal for Lansing Ignite.
And congratulations to OCB picking up their first ever win last night, 2-0 at Mount Verde over the visitors from the Great White North, Toronto FC2.
With Bruce Silverman, I'm Ken LaVicka, and it is 1-1, RGV and LA Galaxy 2. Let's take a glance at what's coming up here with both squads, but first some news and notes. How about this? Tampa Bay Rowdies, New York Red Bulls 2. They are the number 1 ranked and number 2 ranked teams, and they are in action. And not to mention, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, we talked to Bruce at length in the opening 45. 19 USL Championship clubs advanced to round number 3 in a couple of weeks' time. And then Wednesday night soccer, Birmingham Legion FC, Nashville FC. Those two clubs will tangle on Wednesday. Here's what's coming up for Rio Grande Valley FC, Bruce. And you've got some victories in there, but man, Austin Bold FC at the back end of the next 5. They're maybe the surprise of the entire USL, but there's some points perhaps to be had for RGV.
Well, there are, and if they play the way they did in the first half, there could be a lot of points. The question that's really going to be for me is RGV going to be able to keep up the pace and the possession that they had in the first half? If they do, they should get another goal and get the win tonight. But if they settle down and they get complacent, LA Galaxy could turn around and steal some points on the road.
You see RGV 2 Saturdays from now are at Orange County. Well, LA Galaxy 2 next Saturday, they are home against Orange County. So RGV will be able to do some advanced scouting from their opponent tonight, LA Galaxy 2. So we're even at 1, RGV, LA Galaxy 2. Two squads that play to a 4-4 draw last time out. Should be a good one, and we'll continue when we come back.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
Welcome Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Hola Bruce, bienvenido a Taquería Manu.
¿Taquería Manu?
Mi nueva pasión ahora que estoy retirado. Desde que probé las carnes marinadas, mi tienda para tacos son fáciles y rapidísimos de hacer.
A ver. Dale.
Mira esto. Elige el sabor que quieras.
¡Híjole! ¡Qué rico!
Provecho, Bruce.
Gracias, hermano.
Carnes Marinadas, mi tienda de H-E-B, celebrando nuestra cultura, costumbres y pasión.
The youngsters are out tonight here in the south of Texas, and they have watched a good one. It is 1-1, Rio Grande Valley and LA Galaxy 2.
At least two of those girls are going to play in the NWSL in about 10 years.
That's the hope. The NWSL, by the way, this season, not that it isn't always, but what a wild and entertaining season it's been. About to be thrown into flux, though, with the Women's World Cup just a couple of weeks away in France. And the United States, of course, the favorites, but it is going to be less of a favorite for the U.S. than they've ever had, odds-wise, in the World Cup.
The world is catching up.
It is.
To the United States in terms of the women's game. And, you know, this is such a great stadium, such a great night, playing on grass the way football was intended to.
And here are the goals that we saw in the first half. There's the first one, Bruce, from Ontiveros.
And it all starts with a brilliant service from the corner, and Conti just not positioned well. If he stepped out about 2-3 feet, he knocks the ball away. Not to say that it doesn't get in the goal like it just did for Foster, but Conti having issues controlling the ball as the keeper tonight for RGV.
Foster with the triumphant run and the poke-in goal to level this at 1-1, and the outstanding dance moves after the fact. And we are getting set for a second 45 here between these two clubs. And this is their second meeting of the year. RGV, after tonight, will have San Antonio right here at HEB Park next Saturday.
Looking forward to that one, but we still have 45 minutes
sure do.
to play here at HEB. And I always love when players do dances or they've got some type of goal celebration. I think it's something that fans really get into and they enjoy. I really appreciate it during halftime, you trying to mimic the Foster dance.
Yeah.
It was impressive. I mean, I was just impressed that you stayed on your feet.
Right.
I mean, just a moment ago, I almost toppled over just trying to stay on my feet.
I don't quite have the ability that Foster did in a multitude of life respects, but I at least had the effort, Bruce, and that's all that counts.
But he doesn't have a headset on right now.
That's
in
very
fairness.
accurate. That's very true. He also, though, has run miles and miles in 46 minutes of action.
You know, and that's something that as the game has matured and the technology has been there, you know, a lot of these players and a lot of these teams have players actually wearing bras that have monitors on them. So they track, they know how many miles a player has run. They know the acceleration. They know when they're starting to get fatigued. They've got statistics on their heart rate and everything else. So the game of soccer has become as technical in terms of your footwork and your head as it is technical in terms of technology.
It is very much like in baseball, where you have numbers that have completely taken over now, and the NBA is getting there as well. Soccer has come to that point where you're tracking numbers, you're tracking fitness, but also there's math that's going into it now, and that's just the way all pro sports are headed.
And different managers handle that data in different ways. Some of them will really monitor the heart rate, how many miles, the work rate, the acceleration, to know when players need to be pulled out. Some of them still go by guts, but you know the training staff and the strength staff are monitoring those things and making sure that players are playing at their peak performance, and we've got a substitution.
We sure do. Leaving the pitch is the goal scorer, Omar Ontiveros for LA Galaxy 2. And into the match is Kai Koreniuk, the leading goal scorer for LA Galaxy 2. So Koreniuk is on at the half, and he enters Mike Munoz's 11. And that's a message sent. LA Galaxy 2 with this game level, now going for it.
What's interesting about that substitution is, remember, Mike Munoz comes to Texas with a short bench. He only has 5 on the bench, now 4, and really only 3 because one of them is a keeper. So you only have 3 position players for 2 more substitutions.
So RGV, a run out right at the onset. Salazar tried to step over, and it was eventually poked away by Tomas Hilliard Arce. But that was dangerous, but Salazar got a little bit too fancy once he got into the area, but LA Galaxy 2 also did well to collapse on top of him.
And that was an example of Salazar almost trying to be too fancy when he got into the box, and he actually kind of danced his way out of the play.
So Koreniuk is on. Ontiveros is off. The goal scorer is off for the best goal scorer available to Mike Munoz tonight in this LA Galaxy 2 roster. 1-1, LA Galaxy 2 and RGV. With Bruce Silverman, I'm Ken Levicka. We are at HEB Park here in Edinburgh, Texas, just miles from the U.S.-Mexico border. And these two squads are trying to stay within striking distance of the first 10 places of the Western Conference, a very competitive West Division.
Talked about what Echeverry was going to tell his squad as he went into the locker room, and what I expected was just keep doing what you did in the first half, putting pressure on LA, not giving them the space to move around. Things are very, very tight. Look, if you can nutmeg a guy and create this opportunity, good for you.
Chioa got taken down to the edge of the area, and they're going to say that the foul occurred outside of the box, I believe, and that is the case. Boy, was that close. Don Chioa, full head of steam, and he got taken down just feet outside the box. Referee Alejandro Aguilera came up and did not hesitate with that call, and I'm not sure about that. That was clunky from Connor Donovan. And did it come outside the area, Bruce, or was that in the box?
I'm thinking it was on the line. So does Ty go to the runner?
In that spot, it does. And Brian Olowski is going to take a left-footed free kick. This is very, very dangerous here for RGV, LA Galaxy 2, in the early moments of half number 2 with an opportunity.
And don't forget, it was Olowski that had that brilliant service on the corner on the goal.
From about 10 yards past this.
Can he curl it around the wall?
There's the curl, and it's high and wide. Olowski gave it a go, but it was not on target. Connor Donovan, in case you did not see that either, for that foul was giving a booking, and that is the first yellow tonight for RGV. So LA Galaxy 2, the first extremely dangerous attempt of the second half, and it goes for naught.
And when I was asking, is he's going to curl it around the wall, I didn't think he was going to go to the near post. I was thinking he was going to go far post.
Go where more of the real estate is. Boy, that still was very, very close to being a foul in the area. Chiloa had a full head of steam, and it definitely looked like in real time it happened in the box, and on the replay, it was definitely not cut and dry. Definitely
no, it really
not
wasn't.
set in stone.
I think it was on the line, or it might have just been a little bit inside the line. But on a bang-bang play like that, set about 18 and a half yards away, and it was a good effort. But it again, you run out of real estate, like you said, so we're going to take a look at the foul again. And I think this is a lot closer, and this is about the best look that we're going to get.
Chiloa. And they're going to say it occurred on Chiloa's right foot, a foot outside the box. That is outstanding work from our production staff and our camera operator. That is well done. So that is what Alejandro Aguilera called, was that foot contact just outside the box.
But it was a great job to really get a run on the ball, and it was because of a defensive breakdown by RGV. They have been very good defensively, but that was one of those mental lapses. We talked earlier about how this is a mental game for both of these teams coming off of a loss. And maybe this game is won or lost based upon the mental mistakes and not the physical prowess.
Well, just under a month ago, these two teams exploded for 7 goals in the second half and are out to a 4-4 draw. So we will see if they can match that type of insanity that we saw back on April 24th in Carson, California. These two teams have both had good chances here at the start of the second half. We've had a little bit of controversy that it turns out after replay was the right call by Aguilera.
But was it really a controversy in the building, or was it just?
It was just the two of us making our own controversy.
No,
right.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's a bang-bang play. For LA right now, I think the adjustment needs to be they need to challenge Nico Corti. He has made mistakes. He has mishandled balls. They need to put the ball on frame.
Look at this run and a potential chance left foot. He tried the cross, and that was Riccio actually, could not get that cross through. I thought he was going to give it a go at Corti for a moment, but decided to deliver the cross, and it was cleared away.
I think Los Dos also wanted a handball on Kyle Adams. They don't get it. Play continues. But now they're really seeming to move the ball a little bit more at will. I think that RGV a little snake bitten on the last few defensive exchanges, especially that card being handled out to the captain. That kind of settled them down a little bit. They're giving a little bit more space than they did and making some small errors that they didn't really do after they gave up that goal in the 16th minute.
A foul is called, and we'll have a free kick for LA Galaxy 2, much to the displeasure of Gerson Echeverry, second-year head coach for RGV. And it'll be Tomas Hilliard-Arce to handle the free kick duties. 52nd minute, 1-1 the score. Both goals happening in half number 1. Hilliard-Arce just launches it out of play.
And that's one of those situations where you just have to say why.
Why? The eternal question.
I mean, really, it comes down to you got control of the ball. To kick it out of bounds just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like when you see a throw-in and it's thrown out. It's just, you need to take advantage of those opportunities. They don't come along all that much, and when you can control it on a set piece, you have to take advantage.
RGV will try and work out of the back now, and it'll be played back to Nico Corti, the 3-time national champion at Stanford, and he'll push it up ahead. 2 good opportunities for both teams, now a bit ragged. Play on, says the referee Aguilar. This will be sprayed to the left side. Good ball, Salazar. Make it Enriquez. Enriquez cuts it to his left foot. Enriquez still going, pushes it to his right foot. Shot, curled it to the post, and he put it wide, but ambitious and pretty. What an effort from Enriquez.
Well, and it all starts with great defense by Martinez to get it forward. But Jesus Enriquez, what an individual effort. And you saw the play developing. You knew he was working to the right foot, and then he's going to want to go far post. It goes a little wide. But, man, had that gone in, that's a goal of the week candidate.
Without question. You don't even have to vote on it or watch another replay. So we see LA Galaxy 2. Their 4 remaining subs are now getting the work in, getting warmed up. And here's Chiloa. Can he get to it? Yes. Attempts a cross, earns himself a corner. Chiloa has had a very strong opening 8 minutes to the second half.
And we're starting to see a change in the second half in terms of the aggression from LA. They have been the more aggressive team. And the part of that is because RGV is giving them the space. Now you're giving in to the strength that has been LA.
Belowski's corner. It's headed down, and another corner coming for LA Galaxy 2.
And another good service by Brian Olowski. He is really showing a lot in terms of what he's servicing in, and it looks like he's going to go and take it from the other side, giving everybody a little bit of a rest. We've been in a frantic pace, and Olowski right now in the 55th minute, slowing the game down just enough to get everybody settled in for this corner. This one will swing away, but he's been so effective. Looks like he might go short.
It was Donovan for RGV who pushed it across the end line, and now we have some jostling and some pushing and shoving in front of Nico Corti's goal, and Alejandro Aguilera goes over to sort things out. We've seen some great set pieces from not only Olaski of LA Galaxy, but Isidro Martinez from RGV. They are really whipping it in there tonight.
Well, and the wind has picked up a little bit that Olaski had to move the flag just so it wouldn't snap back at him as he goes to make this kick.
Olaski is ready. Here's the corner, puts his foot into it, and it clears everybody. And the race is on to the touchline, and a throw-in coming now for RGV. They're looking to get this quick, and now they're going to slow it down, and everybody settles as Los Dos was able to start marking and prevent any sort of quick restart.
Wind being a little bit of a factor, especially if either one of these teams wants to play any kind of aerial football. But for RGV, they've got to find their way back to the form that they finished the first half with. Right now, Los Dos doing a really good job of changing things up and putting pressure and keeping RGV defensively on their heels.
This looks like the first 20 minutes of the first half.
Great point. And that was the first 20 minutes that really favored LA.
Look out here, a giveaway. Foster plays it through. Here's a right-footed shot and a goal. Salazar stopped on a dime, was able to switch butts, and he beats Bomsteeg. Cool and composed, and it's 2-1 RGV.
Michael Salazar with an incredible individual effort to literally stop time. He just absolutely froze Von Steeg to the point where he could work left foot, right foot. Eventually, the knees buckled, and Salazar just so incredibly patient. This is the type of play that you want out of your striker. Just playing it. I've got the space. Bang, back of the net.
There was no panic whatsoever. Two defenders were descending upon him, and he was able to get it onto his dominant foot, and that is as easy as it comes. That is nicely done from Salazar. He made it look easy when in reality there are a lot of people that would clench up and push it wide in that moment.
And credit to Martinez to keep the ball in front and then get it over to Foster for the assist.
Salazar, his fourth goal this season against LA Galaxy 2, his fifth overall. He has dominated this squad from Carson, California. And now here's a chance for LA Galaxy 2. Here's Williams. Williams gave it away, though, at the edge of the area.
And Williams been very, very quiet since basically the opening whistle. The only guy on this pitch offensively that has goals for Los Dos. Echeverry has to feel a little bit better, especially because coming out of the dressing room, his team was really not in form, and to pick up a goal when they haven't really had it all together in the second half is a huge boost for them.
Martinez will play it back. RGV being outplayed in the first 13 minutes of this second half, but they get the goal courtesy of Michael Salazar.
And that's kind of the cruel part of the beautiful game, that you can absolutely be outplayed and then something like that happens where Martinez saves it in the mouth of the 18, gets it over to Foster. Foster has the vision to get it to Salazar, and then Salazar just takes over the game all by himself.
So at the hour mark of this one, RGV is a half an hour away from the first ever victory against LA Galaxy 2.
But I think you're really getting ahead of yourself, Ken, because this is the type of game where we can see the same type of game that we saw in April when these two teams went 4-4. I think with 30-plus minutes to go, we haven't seen the best football yet.
I completely agree with you. It definitely feels like there are more goals to come here. A foul against LA Galaxy 2. And that was Cabrera hitting the deck for RGV. We'll see the foul again. And a bit reckless by Nick Depew coming into the back of Cabrera. Here's a long free kick, and I'm not sure what the idea was there.
those are the types of things that just drive managers crazy. And after my conversation with Coach Echeverry the other day, I know how he feels about putting the ball on frame. Those are just opportunities that you just can't pass up. You got to challenge the keeper. You have to keep the ball in play, because balls that you don't score on tend to come back and haunt you.
Now, speaking of, and just to further your point, Bruce, and why you and Coach Echeverry are right, 2 shots on goal tonight for RGV, and both have been in the back of the net.
That's pretty good efficiency.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll definitely do.
But that also tells you the more balls you put on frame, maybe the more goals you're going to score.
Yes.
The odds are in your favor.
With Bruce Silverman, I'm Ken Levicka. 2-1 RGV, the hosts on top of LA Galaxy 2. Here's a delivery, and that's the cleanest catch of the night from Nico Corti. He went up and hauled it in with 2 hands. And if you're an RGV fan, the way you've seen him handle aerial deliveries tonight, your heart stopped for a moment, but that was well done in what has turned into a pretty stiff breeze here in the south of Texas.
And then he punched this one completely across the pitch and out of play. Wind was at his back in that one.
You can hear it a little bit too with our on-field microphones. You can hear the wind smacking against them, and also the corner flags are whipping around as well.
Well, Lasky had to move the flag in order to deliver the last corner.
And here is a foul. Adrian Vera and a booking. A yellow for Adrian Vera, second yellow tonight against LA Galaxy 2. He joins John Requejo in the book. And a free kick coming. And a clutching of the right leg. And we'll see, is that Junqua who is banged up? No, that's Remilio Hernandez for RGV, who's favoring his right leg.
So it's going to be interesting on this, and we get to take another look at it and see exactly how it goes down in slow motion. Tries to corral it in, and then takes a little bit of
high boot
from Vera, and that will leave a mark. So now from 30-plus out, what do you do with this set piece?
Now, if you're Martinez and the way you've been delivering tonight with that right foot, I think you probably try and put it on someone's head. But I'm also not Isidro Martinez. So from distance, we'll see what Martinez does here. With a wind to his back, and he's going to loft it into the box, and it'll be headed away for a corner. Coming over was Schultz. He had no choice but to send it out of play for a corner. Hitting the deck was Foster. Big size advantage there for Schultz. He disposed of Foster and then headed it out.
And that's a good service by Martinez, because it's either going to get you something on frame or it's going to end up as a corner. Martinez will go over and take this outswinger again. Gets the ball high in the air, give his team an opportunity to head it in.
Can RGV have a 2-goal cushion? Here's the delivery on the corner, headed down, and tracking it down is Williams, but this will head out of play, and RGV has an attacking third throw, and a bit sloppy there from Los Dos. And now Foster plays it up to Enriquez, and that's poked out of play, and another throw on the way. RGV, no urgency right now to try and push. We're going to have Andres Arcilla enter the game for Wilmer Cabrera for RGV. And there's the whistle, and here comes the substitution. So Andres Arcilla out of Cartagena, Colombia, into the match, taking out the Dynamo Academy product, Wilmer Cabrera.
First substitution of the evening for Coach Echeverry. Mike Munoz already went to his bench to open up the second half, but you could see wind is really picked up here in southern Texas. Not sure how that's really going to affect the game, but for RGV, wind at their back will probably be less of an issue than LA going into the wind. They're going to have to be very careful in terms of shots from distance.
So Arcilla will enter the match.
Cabrera, a little bit of a relation with Houston Dynamo, son of the coach. Don't know if you get any closer than that as that ball is serviced a little too far.
Yeah, Cabrera, who is just shy of 18 years old, 19 years old rather.
But he had a solid night tonight. Was able to spray the ball around well, created some chances. But also fresh legs now for Arcilla.
And Wilmer Cabrera has seen plenty of time with this RGV club this year. This was his 9th start of the season tonight. And he comes off at the 65-minute mark. Give way to Andres Arcilla.
You know, taking a look at this LA offense, Olaski has been great on set pieces, but other than that, silent. Zubek, silent. Williams, silent. And that's one of the reasons why they're chasing the game for the second time tonight, is they just have been unable to get the ball into the final third and have any kind of buildup with their offensive firepower.
Long balls played forward here for LA Galaxy too. That certainly looks a lot different from what we saw good portion of the second half. This is played forward on the run. Foster, Malik Foster sends it to the top of the area. Now it's pushed and a shot that's wide by Hernandez. He didn't get the oomph on it that he wanted to. Hit it from about 22 yards out, and he'll retreat.
But really nice ball movement by RGV. A lot of one-touch passes to get through the passing lanes. Shot goes wide, but at the end of the day, you can't argue with the strategy.
LA Galaxy 2 looking for an equalizer. They have not threatened in quite some time, however. And the USL here in week number 8 of this USL season. We are getting towards the month of June, and we are getting to the point where teams start to make moves here in this USL table. Many of them coming off of the US Open Cup. As we discussed at halftime, 19 USL championship teams have advanced on to round number 3.
And one USL championship team in the Flamingos from Forward Madison. And what an outstanding job that Peter Wilt and that entire organization have done, not only in putting together a team that has been very competitive, not only in League One, but also in US Open Cup. But what a great job they've done social media-wise, and the way that they have been able to take their team and make it as popular as it is, not only in League One, but really across the country and around the world. There is interest in that team from all over. The sales of merchandise, the fact that they took.
Salazar, the flag is down. Can he beat the keeper? No. Wow, Vom Stig able to stand his ground. He wasn't going to be beaten by Salazar this time, who was looking for his second. Vom Stig, outstanding goalkeeping to keep it 2-1.
Justin putting that big mitt in front of Salazar. And right now, I'll tell you, that's got to be a save of the week candidate. There is no doubt. Going back to the thought on Forward Madison, you have people from around the world that are, and we'll get to that in a second, but this is just outstanding goalkeeping. As Salazar trying to dance around Von Steeg, and he just settled down, read it perfectly, and just got that big mitt there, and Salazar had to go over the keeper, and he covered up.
Salazar was trying to do the same thing that he did with the goal earlier on in the half, and Vom Steeg took mental notes, and now we have a booking against LA Galaxy 2, and Nate Schultz has earned the third of the night for Los Dos.
That coming in the 69th minute. US Open Cup is such an amazing tournament, and really brings out the best of what United States soccer is all about. Steeped in tradition, all the years that it's been going on, the amateur teams that have taken the title over the years, the fact that it is named after Lamar Hunt, which is such an incredible honor. A gentleman that has been such, or when he was alive, was such a driving force in American soccer, first in the original NASL, and then really being the glue that kept MLS together in its infancy. What a tremendous honor for him and a legacy for him.
Absolutely. I had the opportunity to call a round one match in Des Moines as this is played through. Vom Steeg will come up and launch this away. But Des Moines, a bunch of college kids who were signed within 7 days of that match, and Duluth. And that went to penalties and a Des Moines victory. And then two USL teams, Austin Bold and Tulsa Roughnecks, and Austin won that one. And then I had a chance to be in Colorado Springs for the Switchbacks and FC Denver, a semi-pro club. So just entertaining, just great stuff. Here's a build-up from RGV. Oh, trying to play it through was Arcela. Could not find Enriquez. Well done by LA Galaxy 2. And now perhaps an opportunity, though they don't have the numbers. This is played forward. This is a really good ball. This is a chance for an equalizer for Los Dos. A step over to the end line. The cross, it's headed away. It's going to go for a corner. Good job on the counter from LA Galaxy 2.
Yeah, that was really brilliant in the way that they were able to move the ball down. Kyle Adams puts his head on it at the last minute. Ball here at the elbow, well defended, and just driving and running out of real estate, trying to serve the ball into Williams, and Adams earns the corner, and you see the yellow card that was handed out there to Nate Schultz. And here another opportunity for Olaski to do what has really been his bread and butter this evening.
Starting to get late here in South Texas. 2-1 RGV. Olaski's corner near post, headed up in the air and headed out of the area. And now the chase is on. And this will be won by Schultz, the man who earned the yellow moments ago. His delivery is good. That's headed away, but unable to clear is RGV. Trying to play it was Depew, trying to push it to the left flank. That was broken up, but still LA Galaxy 2 is coming on the attack. Headed forward, and still good shape. And now a shot is blocked up in the air. That was deflected by Junqua. And now a whistle, a stoppage. And what's the call here? And we have an injury to Junqua. He took that shot straight to the head, and now he's feeling it. Sam Junqua, the Houston Dynamo man, gonna have to shake some cobwebs out.
No, it really, and you know what? This gives us a great opportunity to talk about the head injury protocol that USL has instituted. And I think what USL is doing, USL Championship and USL League One, USL League Two, what they're doing in terms of making sure that the mental and physical aspects of this game, and especially with head injuries, is so important. You see the ball getting recycled into the middle. 50-50 there, but you're going to see what happens. Ball clears out. We don't get to see the end of it, but the brunt of it taken on the head. And head injuries are plays in this game that so concern me, because this is a game where the clock does not stop. It is difficult to treat players and really be able to evaluate the extent of a head injury.
Right.
You know, I've been around this game for a long time. You've been around the game for a long time. There are players that come off for 2 seconds, go right back on. You find out, you know, it was an absolute concussion, and they're out for
3 weeks, 4 weeks,
or
months,
more,
right?
Or months. But the bang part of this game, too many players are being taken off and then sent right back in because they're not evaluated properly. And credit to this league and this entire system in USL to be able to protect their players. And hopefully it's something that the soccer world will take notice to and will start to implement.
Carlos Small is going to come on for Sam Junqua. Small, the native of Panama. Now look at RGV on the run. Foster with the cross. Winding up is Enriquez, and he launches it out of play. He tried to put a rocket shot on it with his right foot. It was too far behind him, and he never got the angle and never got the leverage to try and challenge Vom Steeg.
So Small is going to come in for Salazar. But going back to that service by Foster to Enriquez, that ball was sitting up for so long, intended for Enriquez, that it was almost like one of those cartoon dogs that's just their tongue is wagging and wagging and spinning around as they wait on it. And by the time it gets to him, it's like, and the whiff. And he just had too much time to think about it. And by the time the ball got to his foot, it was sent out of play.
Jose Hernandez is into the match now for LA Galaxy 2. And he'll take Requejo off. So off goes a yellow for LA Galaxy 2.
So 2 substitutions for both of these squads at
Small's
this point.
actually taking off Salazar, not Junqua, as we thought initially.
But great night for Salazar. The goal at 57. Great individual effort to try to get the brace, but was just stymied by Von Steeg. And Small is not a small man.
No, he is not. Small, 6-footer, 187. He's got a big frame.
And interesting that up a goal with 15 minutes to go, Echeverry basically going like for like, not going defensively, wanting to kind of pile it on and make sure that he gets this win at home, and you know that he's working the sideline because that button down is almost completely out of his pants.
Stalking around the touchline, and Junqua, after taking that shot to the head, literally a shot with the right foot, he is back in the match now, and a track down from behind, and the referee
Martinez with a professional foul,
and Olowski
right
is
there.
upset. Olowski thinks it should be a booking. He is
and
really
I can see the argument on it. He's got the breakaway, and Martinez just reaches out and just puts a hand on his hand and pulls him back. Argument to be made that Martinez should be in the book in the 77th minute. It's not going to happen. The Barbasol is going to go down, and a set piece opportunity from about, call it 25, 26.
So Olowski surveying. And LA Galaxy 2 desperately looking for an equalizer. Olowski lobs it into the box, and somehow it got through to Corti, and unable to get a foot on it was Adrian Vera. It looked like Vera would have a glorious chance. All it took was one touch, and he could have beaten Corti, and instead it found Corti on a hop.
Looking forward to the replay on this one. I just don't understand why there wasn't a play on the ball. The ball serviced so incredibly well. Olowski has impressed me so much by the way that he has handled basically every single set piece opportunity he's been a part of.
It looked like it was right on Vera's feet, and here is the replay. Olowski to the far post, and there was a grab in there, it looked like. Zubak was held. The jersey was held for a split second, and that's what blew it up.
Yeah, unfortunate for LA that they weren't able to capitalize on that, as we're just under 12 minutes remaining in the initial 90, and LA chasing this game. They've gotten a little bit better in terms of possession as the game is worn on. Part of that is RGV not being as aggressive and pressing on defense and just giving Los Dos a little bit more space to maneuver.
Chiloa, nifty move. Can he get to the outside? No. Even better defending on the back end by Sam Junqua of RGV. That was very, very strong, but a giveaway. Here's a shot with a right foot, and it's up and over. Augustine Williams decided to give it a go, and it was off target. He put a lot behind that, but couldn't find the frame.
Yeah, and that's a little lack of patience. The numbers were there for LA, and you're kicking the ball into the wind, and you're putting it well over frame. For me, settle it down and try to find a teammate and really put pressure on Corti, who has not handled balls in his direction all that well this evening.
Well, we're starting to see LA Galaxy 2, however, put on more consistent pressure, but here's a long ball, and Enriquez left of the box. He's able to finally control it along the end line. Enriquez, nifty footwork. He'll punch it into the box over everybody's head. Foster pursues, able to get to it in the corner, but then he plays it across the touchline in LA Galaxy 2 as we get to 10 minutes left in the 90. We'll begin the journey again towards Corti's goal.
For RGV, they just need to keep the pressure on and really try to keep LA on their side of the pitch, and they're doing a good job with it there. They get whistled for the infraction. For RGV, they don't necessarily need another goal, although the third goal would give them some space. LA needs to be a little bit more creative in their buildup, especially if RGV is going to put pressure on them defensively. And you see that pressure right there turning to a turnover. Now it's a matter of, is RGV going to try to press when they have the ball at their feet, or are they going to play possession football, try to run out the clock?
Now these two squads have scored 11 goals combined in their now 2 almost full meetings this season. So you certainly feel like we're not done yet, even in the later stages of this one. Here's Hernandez, recently entered into the match. Lofts it to the left, and we have a player down, and a whistle is blown. And that's Augustine Williams, who is in some discomfort in the 81st minute. Alejandro Aguilera was quick to blow the whistle.
And I'm not exactly sure why, because LA had the advantage, and he didn't even let it play out. We see how this goes down, and Williams going down relatively easily.
It's actually Don Giloa who went down. Looked like Williams for a moment. They have similar frames. Giloa still walking with a bit of a limp. It'll be a free kick, and here's Olaski.
So this is going to be a little challenging because you're a little too far with the wind to go right at it, but he does.
And it was Corti who got run into. The ball is still loose. Here's a right-footed cross. It was low, and it was cleared away by Duvall. It goes out of play, though, and LA Galaxy 2 to throw it in. Tenuous moments for RGV.
Shows why Brian Olaski is the man that is taking the set pieces for LA. He goes right at Corti, who we've talked about all evening long, has not handled balls cleanly. And a little bad luck for Los Dos because that loose ball was there for the taking. Just nobody was able to get a clean shot off on an open net. Corti was able to scramble back.
You know, his name we haven't really called since he came on at the start of the second half is Kai Koreniuk. And here he is with a left-footed cross. Corti fumbled it again, but finally was able to haul it in.
You know, this is the point in the game where we've continuously talked about Nico Corti not handling balls well tonight. If there was a heart monitor on Echeverry, what his heart rate would be watching the balls bounce around off the hands of Corti.
And then Corti launches it the length of the field, and it'll be a goal kick. Here's Olaski, and you see Corti contact run into, no whistle, played up into the air. And this was a potential glorious opportunity to Pugh with the cross. Good recovery, though, by Duvall to get a foot on it and break it up. And the final substitution for LA Galaxies into the match now. And it is, I'd make that McHugh, make that RGV, and McHugh is going to take off Malik Foster. And Malik Foster in no rush to get off the pitch. So Eric McHugh will come on eventually.
And now Munoz is also going to his bench for the third time this evening. And now we've got two gentlemen by the name of Hernandez on the pitch for Los Dos.
And it is Jorge Hernandez who has entered. Hernandez, an LA Galaxy Academy player. And here's a giveaway. Left of the area, Enriquez dances, and now he'll back it out as three defenders descend upon him. Enriquez is going to try and battle it to the corner, try and battle for a corner, dispossessed, but given right back to RGV. Here's Hernandez. Hernandez to the far post, and unable to get to it was Chris Duvall. And a quick distribution now from Vom Steeg. LA Galaxy 2 with some desperation. Olaski surveys, stops on his left foot, punches to the left of the area, and it'll be headed out of play. And we'll have a corner coming for LA Galaxy 2. Hustling down the field was Duval with the length of the field to break that up.
Yeah, he's going to be gassed right now. Probably getting a little bit of a break as Hernandez goes to the corner. He'll leave it behind because Olaski has just been that effective. And the way this game has been going between the service by Olaski and the mishandles by Corti, this could be a lot of fun.
Jose Hernandez with the corner and a foul in the box against LA Galaxy 2. So the time continues to tick down here, 86th minute, and RGV can start to feel 3 points for the first time ever against LA Galaxy 2.
Another good service, unfortunately for LA, caught offside. But Olaski just continues to impress me by the way that he services. And the big club's going to be seeing this game and see the quality of the service that he's provided all evening long.
Now, a lot on film that's impressed tonight about Brian Olaski making his 5th start of the season for LA Galaxy 2. This is lobbed long. Nobody on the receiving end in a white shirt, and RGV will clear it to midfield. Making the turn there is Enriquez, and it's pushed out of play, and RGV will throw it. And you can see the bottom of your screen, Gerson Echeverry, second-year head coach for RGV, saying, relax, calm down, let's finish this off. Surely not in those terms, probably.
Well, he knows right now he's looking at least a point. In his mind, there's no reason why he shouldn't escape this game with 3 points. But LA is not going to go home without finishing the drill.
Augustine Williams, a bit of a clunky header, but an even clunkier clearance and an attacking third throw-in for LA Galaxy 2. Olaski.
There was McHugh with the miscue in trying to clear it out.
And a whistle and a foul against LA Galaxy 2.
And that's what LA can't afford to do, is to make those mistakes. Now we talked at the beginning of the game about how this was going to be a mental game versus physical game. Now it's, can LA avoid the mental mistakes? And you can't foul when the ball's in the final third and you're chasing the game.
The final substitution into this match, Jorge Hernandez with a foul. So before he can even make a positive impact, that free kick is given right back to LA Galaxy 2. That cannot be what RGV had in mind there.
But we talked about it about 15, 20 minutes ago. Olaski, we brought his name up a lot because of the set piece opportunities. Good defense right there by RGV. But Olaski, Zubac, and Williams have been really quiet offensively. I mean, Zubac has almost been non-existent in the game. I don't think we've really called his name in the better part of this one.
Here's Hernandez. Jose Hernandez pushes it off to the left. Olaski, step over, dispossessed. But LA Galaxy 2 maintains the attack. Olaski delivers. It's headed down into the box. And this will be cleared away. Kyle Adams did well to control that, with Lostos lurking on the back post. LA Galaxy 2 has some time in a maneuver, but time is running out quickly, rapidly here in the south of Texas.
For RGV right now, I'd like to see them going back to what really has worked for them, is putting bodies on the ball. They're giving LA a little too much space with not a lot of time left.
Koreniuk, nice cross, but it's going to be headed up into the air, and it'll go across the end line, and it'll go for a goal kick. Oh, that was a great-looking delivery, but Williams could not get anything behind the header, and it went straight up into the air, and that might have been the final opportunity for LA Galaxy 2 tonight.
Got to figure there's going to be a few minutes of added time for our viewing pleasure. But for LA, they have not stopped. They continue to try to press towards Corti. RGV just giving them too much room to maneuver in that final third. Now we're into the part of the game where RGV needs to settle the ball down and play keep away.
And that's exactly what they're doing here. Play it forward, but they give it away. So they didn't take a lot of time off the clock. And here's LA Galaxy 2 to the outside. Here's Schultz. Schultz had it knocked out of bounds, but it'll be a corner. A corner coming for LA Galaxy 2. 3 minutes of stoppage time. That is enough for LA Galaxy 2 to find an equalizer.
And as the clock strikes 90, who's going to the corner but Brian Olosky?
And there's the slide tackle by Schultz that sent it away. Here's the corner, and a whistle and a foul, and frustration for LA Galaxy 2. That foul was called on Koreniuk as he was battling to try and find some room to operate.
And that's unfortunate for LA because that was a clear penalty on Kai. The issue with that is play the ball, don't play your defender.
Right.
You know, you're chasing the game. The ball could have been at his head, and instead of putting his head on it, he just curled the defender down. When he goes back and he sees the replay of this game, he's going to be disappointed that that service by Olosky, which was just spot on once again, was a missed opportunity in stoppage time.
But a foul against RGV. We are a minute expired in stoppage time. 3 minutes of stoppage time and a quick restart. Schultz wants to deliver, and he does. It's pounded down with the right foot and sent away. Schultz goes to retrieve. Looking to equalize and steal a point at Rio Grande Valley. What a turn from Schultz. Has some room. He'll send it into the area. It's Lowe's on the left foot, and we are level. There is the equalizer. Ethan Zubak has stolen a point for LA Galaxy 2 on the road.
You're just not a little excited about that, are you?
Oh, my.
Talked about it. RGV was giving too much space to Los Dos. They were inviting them to come back into this game. The last 5 minutes have belonged completely to LA. Great individual effort by Schultz to dance out of trouble. The service in, misplayed by Donovan, and it just set up that goal by Zubak. We talked about how he has been basically absent from this game. But if you show up 2 minutes into 3 minutes of added time and you equalize the game at 2 apiece, that's okay.
It absolutely is.
You've earned your keep.
That is goal number 3 on the season for Ethan Zubak, the LA Galaxy man. And it comes just shy of the death. And RGV, what do they have to do to pull a 3-point result away from LA Galaxy 2? Do they have some late magic, however? Duval kept it from going out of play, and he's able to bang it off of Jorge Hernandez for a throw-in. Well, LA Galaxy 2 scored at the death back in April for a draw, but this is stolen away. Can LA Galaxy 2 come out with 3 points? Look at the room. To the outside. Reinforcements coming. Now a cross is coming. Oh, and they almost found Williams in the area. It's cleared away. RGV hanging on for dear life for a draw. There's the whistle. LA Galaxy 2 deep into stoppage time with an Ethan Zubak equalizer, and they have to settle for a draw. Rio Grande Valley still has never beaten Los Dos.
Adams at the very last minute clearing it out right before the whistle. We talked about how this was going to be a mental game and a physical game. The reason that Rio Grande Valley does not come away with 3 points, because at the very end of this game, mental lapses and getting away from the defense that put them on top, that's the reason that this game ends at 2-2.
So Rio Grande Valley stays 2 points back of LA Galaxy 2 in the Western Conference table. Your final tonight from Edinburgh, Texas. Rio Grande Valley 2, LA Galaxy 2. And while it wasn't nearly as many goals as the last time out, Bruce, this was certainly as entertaining.
Absolutely enjoyed this game, Ken. There was a little bit of everything. Foster with the goal, the dance, Salazar with a beautiful, beautiful goal, probably be a goal of the week candidate. And then Bomsteeg will have a save candidate tonight as well.
Highlights and stats on the way of this 2-2 draw. Post-game show up next.
The more we are together, together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
A 2-2 draw. Rio Grande Valley will rue this one. They had 3 points in the bag, and LA Galaxy 2 in the 91st minute able to pull level, and both teams settle for a draw. LA Galaxy 2, Bruce, much more satisfying than Rio Grande Valley's point in the table.
No, absolutely. This is a game that RGV is going to look back on and say we definitely left points on the table. They just didn't finish the drill, but Olaski was brilliant throughout the entire game. One of the best games I've ever seen at any level by someone being the point man on set pieces.
And that was Olaski with the assist off the corner. On Tavares with our first goal of the match. All he had to do was camp out on the far post, and Corti playing behind the goal line had no chance at that. It was 1-0, but here's the equalizer near the end of the first half. What a delivery and what a goal from Malik Foster.
Foster in the 34th minute, and that was a great service right there. And you thought at this point everything was going that way. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We'll get him on Danny Terrio's show. Google it, guys, if you don't know who Danny Terrio was.
Bruce Silverman dating himself right
absolutely.
Now. And then here is how RGV went on top. And what a stop, start, and right-footed finish from Michael Salazar, beating Von Steeg, leaving him listless on the turf, and it was 2-1 RGV.
57th minute, and basically RGV in total control of this game as the game wore on. We get towards the end of the game. This is where LA really turned it around. They had about 5 or 7 minutes prior to this goal in stoppage time where things started to move in their direction, and it was because RGV got away from what had worked for them since basically the start of the second half, which is pressure defense. They gave LA too much space.
Connor Donovan, the captain for RGV, unable to clear. It falls to the foot of Zubak, and he, with our final goal of the match, draws us level, and that's how we finish at 2-2. And you look at the numbers here, Bruce. LA, possession, no matter how you feel about it, if you feel it doesn't matter, if you feel it is significant, LA Galaxy 2 made up a lot of percentage of possession in the second half. And 13 shots for RGV, only 9 for LA Galaxy 2. 2-2 draw. RGV continues to throw out a lot of shots, not put a ton of them on target, and that's the problem.
And it really comes down to a game where the Toros are going to look back and say we could be at 15 points right now instead of LA at 15.
So
enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely. Bruce Silverman, for Miguel Machado, Jonathan Telliker, Carly Gallen, and the entire production staff, my man, the great Bruce Silverman, I'm Ken Levicka. Rio Grande Valley FC 2, LA Galaxy 2. That's your final tonight from Edinburgh, Texas. Good night, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.